Hey guys. So I'm sitting here the day after court for the stalking, and it was the status hearing, whatever. And I just wanted to address a couple of things. Uh, First of all, we got a good outcome. Um, but if you've never been through anything like this before, you might not be aware, like, how invalidating the experience might be, especially if you're not the one sharing your experience or what actually happened or presenting the evidence. Like, um yeah, I think it could turn out a number of different ways, going through this whole process. And I just want other people to realize, like, typically the judge is not going to be very great, just empathetically speaking, because it's like their job to be whatever objective. But the dismissal of, like, so I'll just kind of outline, you know, what I had to put in, what I had to spend in order to get this guy from stop harassing me and stalking me. Um, I lost my job at the time and was still having to endure all the harassment and everything. And, I didn't know what else to do. I had no other option, and I had to start protecting myself because it was insane. And so I have to pay for a lawyer. I don't know how to fill out the forms. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And it's all happening so fast. You don't really have time just to, oh, let me just search up a million different articles and see what I'm supposed to do. And, like, no one's really, like, walking you through, oh, this is the problem. This is the right form you need to fill out, whatever, yada, yada, yada. And, like, okay, so I went through it, and, you know, when I was granted the emergency order, um, they didn't serve him for a month. They set the court date. He wasn't aware of it. So I show up with my lawyer. So here I am continuing to spend money in order to protect myself because of the inefficiencies of the legal or the State Department, whatever, whoever's in charge of that, and the sheriff's department was supposed to serve him. Okay, so he was in violation. He wasn't served. I had to continue to endure with no ramifications, even though the order is supposed to protect you. Okay, there's one flaw. Next, continuing to spend my money on legal fees, on the lawyer, showing up to court only to get a continuance because he wasn't served yet. Okay, we show up to court a couple other times. And so after the 6-month period, I show back up for the status hearing, and then he's in agreement. I mean, he was in violation of the order after he was served and everything, so he was continuing to violate. And I went through the proper protocol. I reported it, everything, documented, all the evidence. And so I come to court prepared with my timeline and everything. And, you know, he was aware of the order. I mean, the order happened in December, but he was aware of it in January. And it was January or something like that, or February. And he starts violating in, like, April. Well, I reported it in April. because of the continuous violations. And and then even ongoing into May too, so continuing to violate. And then here we are, August, and we're supposed to have a status hearing or whatever. And then he just shows up and says he'll agree to the long-term order because initially he was arguing against it and wanted to go to trial and all this stuff. Um, so then after the 6 months, he then agrees to the 2 year. Um, and my lawyer had asked for legal fees, and it's because of him we're here. Okay, but with people like that, I mean, yeah, you as like the normal person can't expect a narcissist or whoever, like crazy person that doesn't have brain capabilities, prefrontal cortex functioning. You can't expect them to, you know, admit to anything or whatever. Like, so don't go in expecting anything like that. And anyway, so the judge, I just was really, I left feeling just like, I don't know, invalidated, I guess, because the judge is sitting there like when my lawyer asked for the legal fees, he's like, well, and he's like arguing against me getting legal fees from him and completely minimizing the hardship. Not only was this traumatizing, and I'm waking up in the middle of the night, just frozen and like in terror. Okay. So minimizing my experience, but then dismissing the fact that I had to pay my money when I was out of work. I was laid off, and it was a tough job market. And for the judge to be like, "Oh, like, what do you even say?" It's just like, um, "You're gonna go to court," or he's like, "Yeah, I mean, you could go to court and like do all that and then ask for legal fees, or you could do a settlement." And he's just like saying as if it's like, "Oh, well, what are you gonna get?" Like, and like dismissing the fact that like that's a lot. That's a lot of money to be spending when I'm recovering from surgery. I have all these medical bills. Lost my job. And also, it's because of him. I had to spend thousands of dollars. He made me spend thousands of dollars. And you're going to sit there on your high freaking horse looking down on me that, oh, I don't deserve to get paid. I don't deserve for him, the ramifications for him to pay me. Like, it's such bullshit. And like, yeah, I don't want to go to trial. Don't want to do all that stuff. And then just hearing him saying stuff like, oh, it's all fiction, but what was written in there, and like acting like, and so me just sitting there because I have the lawyer like representing me. I don't want to like step out of line and whatever. And no one heard my story or anything. And sometimes, like, if you end up settling or whatever, you're gonna feel like completely invalidated, I feel like. Um, yeah, I mean, money is money. Like, I'm not gonna stay hung up on it, but it's the fact that the judge took it upon himself to minimize what I had to put into this because of this asshole. So, ladies, if there's anything that I've learned, I mean, you just you got to protect yourself from the start, and you got to let people know from the start. And I think, you know, it's a lesson to have to go through this. You know, yeah, I thought I would share some of this stuff because this is a huge issue. And like my experience is like one thing, but what about all the other people? Like, this is a huge problem. There's a huge problem with the system, the inefficiencies. Okay, they still have not completed the subpoena, and the report happened in April. It is now August, and that's unacceptable. Like, you know, if this were a private business or something like that, you'd be able to leave a review, or you'd be able to call the supervisor, or like talk to customer service or something. And then also there would be competition. Anyone that is taking this long to do something, they are claiming we're protecting you. Go through this process. We're protecting you. How is this protecting me? What? Like there are people shooting at other people, okay? You take a month to serve that person? You take several months to even take action on the violations? Think of how much damage they're gonna do, okay? And like, obviously, that's not deterring them from doing these things. But this is a system that we live in, and also it's in a wealthy area too. You would think, oh, depending on which county you're in, okay, this is like a very wealthy county with a lot of wealthy people living in this area. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it all just depends on the lawyer that you get, you know, which is sad because there's a lot of women out there that don't have lawyers and are trying to represent themselves, and they go in there alone, and it's like that is terrifying. Um that's a rant today. Thanks, guys.